while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong. I guess I found out. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. Been a while since you felt like this. There must be something wrong.
What's good, YouTube? I'm Duelist Nickel, and today I'm bringing you a bunch of replays from my climb to Master 1, including some fun, unorthodox ways to get into Junk Speeder, as well as some great examples of board breaking using Snake Eyes Synchrons. In case you missed my last video, be sure to check out my combo guide, which will include a step-by-step through some of the 1 and 2 card combos within the deck. However, I did make some tweaks to the deck list since my climb to Master 1, so stay tuned until the end of the video for the updated list. Spoiler alert, I just missed this card too much, so I had to fit him back in. And as always, if you're enjoying my content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. This first replay, we're going second against Kashtira Snake Eyes, and they will block us from using MaxX with Unicorn, but they're going to use Oak's effect, which will give us the opening that we need in order to drop MaxX. This will end their turn prematurely, but we'll still need to find a way to deal with their extra deck rip and their graveyard banish, plus whatever that trap card is. So we need to activate Enchantress first so that we can beat their Unicorn to the board. That will give us an out to stop the extra deck rip. Next, activate Right to summon our token, and then we'll use 1 for 1 to get our tuner to the board, and to trigger Fateful Adventure to add Draco back. Next, we'll search for Griffin Rider and send Draco back, which will bait their graveyard banish. Then we can summon Griffin Rider to take care of Unicorn, because we cannot let them rip our extra deck. And then from here, they're still lighting up, so I was suspicious that their set card was an Imperm, or maybe they had a hand trap, so we'll go into Jet Warrior here to try to handle more of their interruptions. But first, activate Jet on Chain Link 1 to search for Junk Servant, because we'll need him later. And it turns out they had both an Effect Veiler, which we can negate with Called By, and an Imperm set. So now that we've dealt with that, we're safe to make our play into Speeder. We can use Revolution Synchron in hand to synchro into Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, which will bring back Jet Synchron from the graveyard. Now we'll normal summon Junk Servant, allowing us to activate Excel's effect to synchro into Stardust Dragon and an unaffected Junk Speeder. If you're looking for help with what to do after you resolve Speeder, check out my combo guides, linked in the description here. This next replay, we're going second again, but this time we don't open any hand traps, so this is uninterrupted Dinos. Alright, just to summarize what we're looking at them set up here, they've got an Omni Negate with Baronne the Floor, a double Omni Negate with a Valzar Lars, and a double Monster Negate with Dolka. So in total that's 5 interruptions, and I've only got 6 cards. Can I break this board? First, we'll play TG All Clear as bait and a face-up card that we can send with Sinful Spoils. No bite, so we'll play Bonfire, 1 negate down. Then we'll play Sinful Spoils and send All Clear, another negate down. And then I'm gonna play Overtake here, which they will let resolve surprisingly, and then they will use their final Omni Negate to stop my Rite of Erismere. Which means that we can now normal summon Trail and then synchro into Junk Speeder. and then it's key that we chain block Speeder with Jet Synchron's effect to search for Junk Servant. This stops him from negating it with Dolka. Now we can bait one of their monster negates with Stardust Synchron. And then we can special summon Junk Servant while Speeder is still in the field. And then we'll Synchro into Crystal Wing to put a negate on the board and render his Dolka useless. Now we can go into Jet Warrior to spin his Baronne back to the deck. Then we'll bring back a level 1 tuner to go into Charge Warrior for a draw. Then we can go into Excel to bring back Jet from the graveyard. And then activate to Synchro into an unaffected Ravenous Croc, which will give us another draw. And then we'll activate Trail and Assault in the graveyard to summon Trail and bring back Excel. And now we can get into Baronne to floor and pop another one of their monsters. And then we'll Synchro into Crimson Dragon and target Baronne to Synchro into Dispater. And then Dispater will special summon Stardust Synchron again. And then we can go into the battle phase and end the game. This is another one to show you a cool way to play around interruption when getting into Junk Speeder. We open Adventure and multiple tuner options, so the first priority is always going to be setting up your Adventure engine. And now that we've insulated ourselves with Griffin Rider, we can play Bonfire to search for Poplar, and then summon Poplar, which will add original Sinful Spoils to our hand, which we'll then use to summon Jet Synchron from the deck. This time, we'll Synchro into TG Mighty Striker, as they were continuing to light up, so I knew they had some kind of hand trap, and I didn't want to remove Griffin Rider from the board yet. And then they're going to use an Imperm here, but since they target Griffin Rider instead of Mighty Striker, we'll leave him there for the level 7 body. Next, we'll use TG All Clear that we added off Striker to pop it, and then add Rush Rhino, so that now we can normal summon Revolution Synchron to go into Baronne to floor and give us a fresh negate on the board, which ends up being the perfect timing to stop their Nibiru. And now you can bring back Revolution Synchron from the graveyard for Speeder. This is another replay going second with no hand traps against Rescue Ace. They'll get to their Hydrant and then to their Turbulence, which will allow them to set up their board with all their spells and traps. First, we'll search with Wanted to try to bait any hand traps they might have. Then we'll activate Subversion to set their Turbulence in the back row. You want to try and clear their Hydrant as quick as possible because it buffs the back row cards they set, but you can't target it until you clear the rest of their rescue monsters. And of course they have Max C, so we'll have to take the challenge. I'm going to set up the adventure engine here first. And I'll try to negate their trap, which will draw another interruption. Dracoback is perfect discard fodder for Black Witch. It will equip itself to your token and chain block your Black Witch to safely add Sinful Spoils to your hand. Except they're going to hit us with another hand trap here. But we could still use Dracoback to spin Hydrant back to the hand, and then they'll activate their search here while they still can. Bonfire will search for Poplar, and then summon Poplar to add Sinful Spoils. A great backup for when your Diabellstar Witch gets negated. Now we can Synchro into Excel Dragon to resummon Jet from the graveyard, and then we can activate Excel to Synchro into Stardust Dragon and an unaffected Junk Speeder. You always just love to see when an Ash Blossom is wasted on an unaffected speeder. Can confirm it is still unaffected. TG Hyper Librarian will help us even the playing field on card advantage. And now we can try and dismantle this board. Crystal Wing will try and negate here and then bait another one of their trap cards. Pro tip, if you tribute Crystal Wing with Stardust Synchron and then bring him back with Assault's effect, it will be able to use its negate again this same turn, and they can see where this is going. This duel is going first, and we'll start out by special summoning Assault Synchron in order to send it with Sinful Spoils. I was going to summon Snake Eyes Ash here to go into that line if this didn't get negated. Instead, we'll have to normal summon Stardust Synchron and search for Stardust Illumination. Then we'll use Illumination to send Trail to the graveyard, and then we can tribute it with our second copy, which will trigger to special summon Trail. Now use Illumination from the grave to make Trail level 5. Then we can use Revolution Synchron in hand to Synchro into Excel. This will also give us a level 1 token. Now we can use Excel to resummon Assault, and then activate it to go into an unaffected Junk Speeder using the level 1 token and the Stardust Synchron from earlier. This final replay here is another great board breaking example, going second against Labrynth. After they finish doing their thing, we'll go ahead and thrust into right and get our adventure engine live. Unfortunately, they're going to ash our search for Griffin Rider. But we'll still attach our token and spin their trap back to the hand. Now we can activate Overtake to get into Junk Speeder. And of course, they're gonna drop the rock on us. And as a bonus, they're gonna use their furniture so they don't have to even give us a token. But we still have our normal summon. First, activate Illumination to send Trail to the graveyard, and then Tribute Junk Servant to resummon the Stardust monsters. Now we can get into Excel, which will give us a token and resummon Jet from the graveyard. Then we'll go into Mighty Striker to give us an extra card so that we can draw off of card destruction. This will actually end up hurting us because they're going to draw into Max C, but we'll have to power through. Activate Excel to synchro into an unaffected Baronne to floor. And then we'll need to use the negate quick because we cannot allow them to activate any traps. Assault will activate to resummon Excel. And then we can bring back our level 1 tuner and use Illumination in the graveyard to increase Excel's level and then go into Bestial Dispater, which can resummon Stardust Synchron, giving us just enough attack power to end the game.
My mind run deep in my thoughts when I didn't have it. Sleeping on the floor, wishing it was a mattress. Now I'm in Hollywood with actors and actresses, where everybody bougie, latest trends and fashions. I'd rather keep it a buck, 100 if you ask me. I was trying to pay the bills just like last week. I was trying to sell a deal just like last week. Trying to run plays and run it up like the mathletes. It's in my DNA to have hope and make a way. Good energy will hit that MJ fade away. Miss me with the hate and now, bruh, not today. Stayed in my lane, did complain, this was meant for me.